welcome to the Normn spin-off Hyperbolic review. This is a spin-off of our normal podcast, the Hyperbolic podcast, and this is a YouTube exclusive segment where Lewis and I will be reviewing everything new, anime, video games, and movies, giving you our raw, honest opinions on these three topics of whatever, comes up. As you can tell by the name of the video, this is going to be our review on season 1 of the live-action One Piece on Netflix. Let me just say what's up to you, Lewis. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? I was about to say, no introduction, man. That's how hyped he is to get onto it, man.
Well, because I'm so used to our normal podcast where I go, we're here to talk anime, video games, and movies. I'm your host, X, also known as Young Morgan Freeman. And with me, as always, is my co-host, Lewis.
Kid Lewis. What's up?
Lewis.
What's up, man? No, I'm good, bro. I'm excited. Let's just get right into it, right?
We got a lot to say, and we want to make this a nice and concise video for you. So, like I said, this is going to be about the first season of the live-action One Piece.
Yes, sir.
This is like our 4th or 5th video of doing this review. So, just so you know, we're going to be reviewing it, going into non-spoilers, then ranking it, then we'll round it out with spoilers.
Yes, sir.
So,
let's get right into it, man.
So, One Piece. One Piece has been around for a long time. It's one of the original shonen animes after Dragon Ball, but before Naruto.
Yes.
Created by Ichiro Oda, it's one of the longest ongoing mangas and animes to this day. As of time of recording, there's like
1,067, 76,
1,070. Well, I think it said 71, but so many. 1,070 episodes of the anime, and then 1,090 issues of the manga.
It's crazy.
So we talked about it in a previous episode about how it's still going strong to this day.
It is. Well, I've talked about it a majority of the time because I've been kind of like caught up with it. I know you're still trying to catch up to it.
I'm reading it.
You're reading it. So, but I've said that that One Piece is kind of like falling off a little bit just because I feel like maybe it's become too tedious in the sense of like it's just too long. You know what I mean? Like, but I do love One Piece. Don't get me wrong. I do love One Piece is fucking great. And I feel like with this live adaptation coming on Netflix, we're going to have more
a resurgence
of a new fan base for One Piece, or maybe people that have never seen it are probably going to start jumping into this. And then maybe people that maybe hopped off of it for a little bit, probably rewatched it on live action, because me watching it on the whole 8 episodes kind of like brought back some memories of like the first season, because it's been such a long time since I've seen like the first 60 episodes right
of the anime.
So it's been such a long time that sometimes I'm like, there was like scenes that I forgot. I'm like, wait, did that really happen? I kind of had to go back and look at the actual anime to be like, oh yeah, that did happen.
I had a couple scenes like that with like Nami and her tattoo, and I was just like, oh yeah. Like, how does she get rid of it? Or how does she,
So there was like a couple of things, but it's just because this anime is so ongoing. There's so much that has happened since, whatever the live action is covering, which is the first 60 episodes, but we're already like 1,000. So,
1,000 episodes
exactly. So that's crazy. And it also makes me think about like in the future, like what are they going to do? Because there's so much that they still need to cover. You know what I mean? That one season alone doesn't covers what? Like maybe 5% of what's out right now in the One Piece world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they have probably a good 20 seasons
if they keep up.
If it's worth it, they have a lot of content. Which is good for Netflix. Because that means they can keep rolling more things out without having to even have writers in there.
I know, because with the writer strike, there's a majority of the One Piece is on Netflix as well. So, you can just one-stop shop for,
everything. They even have the movies too.
They got mad movies on Netflix.
One Piece. So if you love the live adaptation, you're going to love the actual anime itself. And then 100%. On top of that, you have like the movies to go with it. So you're like one-stop shop at Netflix right now.
So last year, One Piece was still in the top 3 animes, even having been on, air or whatever for 10 plus years. Longer than 20 plus years. And I think it is going to be on the top for this year, 2023, with like Luffy's Gear 5 and Kaido and all that stuff. So I think it will still stay relevant.
Oh, no, it's still relevant. People are still talking about it. People are still talking about that last fight between Zoro and King.
Yeah.
So that was an epic fight. But let's continue. What?
To the live action. So the live action was announced quite a long time ago. So we've been anticipating this for a while. It finally released a week ago, August 31st, exclusively on Netflix, developed by Matt Owens and Steven Maeda. So this is where we're going to go into the spoiler-free section.
Okay.
So we're going to mainly just talk about stuff that's in the trailer.
All right. So what did you think about the trailer when you first saw it? Honest opinion.
Honest opinion, so I wasn't too hyped for it. So we had a whole episode about live action anime.
Yes, and how we're not really
fans
of it. Yeah,
of live action. Like, like anime is just so good. Like we just love anime, and the thing that we like about anime is like their creativity and what you can do and how stylized it is, just across all kinds of anime.
Yeah.
But especially with One Piece, like One Piece has a signature style.
It
like
does.
Everybody's hands are like a certain not goofiness.
It's fun. It's like a composition of like different things all mixed in one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because not every character looks the same. Not every character has the same aesthetic. Not every character has the same style, like clothing style in that sense, or the way they talk. Some of them have some weird laughs, like good. Right. Like this is some weird.
And it looks good in the anime.
Because it's like,
that's the same with the manga. So the manga style is also in the anime. So to see it translated is really good. So when you do a live action, you're removing like not 100%, but like 50% of it by taking out the animation.
Yes.
So it at first not that it looked bad, but I just wasn't really with it because we've been tricked before on a good trailer for a live action adaptation.
I'm thinking the one you're probably mentioning is
the Cowboy
Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop. The trailer looked good and looked faithful, but then the show
came out and
it was bad. So it was still faithful.
Did you ever finish it?
I didn't finish it. I think I got through the first episode. I stopped like a bunch of times.
After episode 2.
Two?
I think I got to like episode 2 like halfway, and then I just stopped, and then I never went back.
Yeah. So I mean, I wanted to watch even if.
But are we being biased by not completing it though? Because maybe it could have gotten better.
Only maybe, man. Only maybe, because
is it something we should like revisit
and do a full,
especially with this one? Like, I don't want to like jump into my thoughts yet because I'm gonna leave that afterwards. But like,
if there's a call for it, like then we will watch it and review it properly. But just going off the first like
2 episodes, I know
I wasn't really with it.
I know.
But with this one. I remember you had mentioned that the effects look bad in the trailer.
I thought so too, because the way, like the way Luffy is with the rubber fruit and how he stretches and he does his certain moves, like the gum gum pistol or the gum gum axe or whatever. Like just it looks good in manga. It looks good translating back to anime.
Right.
Would it look good in live action? Because you don't really see people doing like the gum gum grapple gun where he's like punching at high speeds.
That was like a big thing from the trailer that I remember seeing, and I was just like, that doesn't have the same like gravitas as it does.
Yes, but that's, but me personally, just watching the trailer, I know I've talked about it, and I was basically like literally on the other side of the fence just saying like, this gonna suck.
You did, yeah.
Don't watch it. Like
you said, you thought it was gonna fail.
I thought it was gonna fail, but then I've been reading online that Netflix has a whole lineup of anime that they want to make into a live adaptation.
Yeah, they do.
They have Yu Yu Hakusho. They want to make into a live adaptation.
Really?
Hunter x Hunter into a live adaptation.
Really?
They want to redo another one. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah. Into a live like they have a lineup of a bunch of animes they just want to make into. I think even Naruto might be a live adaptation. So there's a lot of things that they want to make a live adaptation, but I think they were putting a lot of marbles into this one piece. Yeah. And I think people were saying like, if this one didn't do as good as they needed to, then they were just going to cancel everything. Because then it's just basically a saying like, why keep repeating something if it's going to keep failing?
That's movie studios. They're going to keep making the same bad movies.
I know, but with Netflix, like, you know what I mean? Especially being on the fence, especially with the stock market, especially with them keep upping up the fucking monthly rates.
Yeah.
Less people are constantly not going back to Netflix.
Make your money back somehow,
Yeah, so... we'll talk about if they did good with this one. So, they might have a chance.
Let's go ahead and
I'm ready, man. Let's dive in, man. I'm ready to swim.
So, 1, 2, 3, go. You want to do it?
You want? Yeah, let's go for it, man. Because we got lots to talk about in a little bit short time. So might as well just get it over with.
Okay. So
in 1, 2, 3, go. Then we'll say it
after go.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
Got it.
All right.
Got
Ready?
it. So just again, sand, top of the top, great ape, middle of the mid, human,
Lows of the low.
lowest of the low, trash of the trash.
All right. You ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3, go.
Sand.
I was gonna say grade 8.
Great ape. Great ape.
I was gonna say grade 8.
Damn, you messed it up this time.
I know. I had to think about it. I paused for a second because I was, matter of fact, I'm not gonna lie. I am in between grade ape and Saiyan.
Right.
If I had to like rate it from like 1 to 10, I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10.
No, we're not doing. We don't. Do
I know we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do that. I know we don't do. I'm saying if we had to, that's what I would give it, a 7 out of 10. So I'm literally like in the fence between grade ape and Saiyan.
But you landed on grade ape.
But I landed on grade ape. I was more towards that grade ape area. You know, there was a couple of things that was missing to like really push me towards that saying. So that's I'm ready to hop onto that. But like, go start, bro. Start.
Okay, so let me see. So it was a decent attempt. I was gonna give it a grade 8, but I wanted to be fair to how I actually felt watching it because I was very surprised and it was really good up until the last 2 episodes for me at least.
You didn't like the last 2 episodes?
I didn't dislike them, but it really like how good the first 8 or the first 6 episodes were. Like it did let me down, so it almost pushed it to a grade 8. But then when it rounded out at the end, they did have like not gems, but
key moments.
Yeah, that shine through.
Yeah,
that I was like, oh yeah, this was a good show because I watched it over like 3 days. So.
I know we try to binge watch this so we can get this episode out as quick as possible. We don't want to lose the momentum,
right.
Of One Piece because One Piece has been out for what now, like a week now.
Yeah, a week.
Closer to a week.
A week tomorrow.
So the sooner we can get this out, the sooner we can catch that wave.
Right. So, like I said, I was between the grade 8, but and it wasn't because of the effects, because I am very forgiving of effects, especially like with something like this. Because remember we were talking about how you can't do a live action anime adaptation if the effects are too wild, but they have Marvel movies or DC Marvel or even just like any kind of like sci-fi movies where they do have effects. They do have people who can stretch. They do have people who turn
like Mr.
into a
Fantastic.
dragon. Yeah, or whatever.
So, Fantastic Four movie where he, and that's what I was thinking about it too, because I was trying to relate that to like watching Fantastic Four.
Yeah, which was bad.
Fantastic dude. Because his power is stretching. Same thing as Luffy. So I was kind of like thinking about it in that sense of way.
But the effects are not good in those movies, like the Fantastic movies.
No, it wasn't. But then it was early what 2000s. Right.
So I'm just saying, like you should be able to do a dragon. You should be able to do a sword fight in an anime. Yeah, or in a live action because they do have it in other movies. But so the effects were like hit and miss for me. They were leaning more towards the good because especially like with the sets, those were all good. I love the world that they built. So it did look like the anime. I
want to go and say that I agree with you. I feel like they did a great job creating like the world, like the Marine Corp like station or Nami's hometown or my favorite one was the restaurant scene with Sanji. Yeah, I thought they had that scene like perfectly done. Like it looked really nice. I was like, yo, it's really nice.
And it looked like lived in. It looked like it was like stylized or whatever, but it looked like functional. Like, it looked like people
like you can actually go in that restaurant and actually have a great decent meal by Sanji. Like,
right.
I can see that. But adding to the other thing you were mentioning about the effects. I don't know if you noticed, but I felt like they kept very limited on the amount of effects for Luffy. Like in the anime itself, Luffy's always constantly stretching.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because you can just do it like that. You can just draw
but in the live action, they were very like limited to the amount of stretching he did, as if like they were trying not to overdo it.
Right.
Because I feel like you said, like if they overdid it, it would start looking a little Yankee. But if they did it like every once in a while, you wouldn't pay too much attention to that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I like Luffy would stretch out his cheek, but that would be like that one time and that's it. I saw him do the gum pistol maybe like what? I saw him stretch more towards the end of the episode, towards the end of the season,
right?
Because the final battle fight with the main villain, whatever. I forgot his name. Arlong, the Fishman.
All the fishmen look good too. I liked all the costumes for that. They look really good.
I like the one that has the big lips and starts shooting stuff. I don't know how he made that. Like right? They made the lips look like really natural. Like if it was part of his face.
Right.
It didn't look like, that kind of looks weird. No, like it looked like, yo, that shit really does look like somebody's like
he's
lips
a fish
should
man.
look like that.
Yeah.
So they did like really good.
Like the catfish looking guy. Like like a catfish mustache.
No. They did. I think they did great with the characters. Luffy looked like Luffy. It did throw me off when they were like showing his younger years. Like he looked more of like a Caribbean boy.
He is.
But he is, but it doesn't look like the anime kind of in that sense.
So I want to talk about that too. So I want to talk about the characters. So all the character designs look good. I can't remember a bad one. Like we said, the fisherman looked good. I liked all the hair, like the anime hairs, like what's the chef with the red leg?
I think they just call him like red blood.
Red boot or some shit.
Yeah.
But
like the mustache braid.
Mustache, yeah, looked good. Yeah. So I liked all the anime-ness. Usually like in anime, the colors like represent like who they are or whatever. And it is like over the top, but it did look good it looked like a good translation. At least visually. But same like in the show, like it won't work if the characters don't work. So the characters in One Piece, like all the characters, Usopp, Nami, Sanji, Zoro, they all are really, really good, and they all carry the story with who they are.
Yeah.
So same like with this live action. So with the live action Luffy, like it wouldn't work without Luffy. If Luffy wasn't good, I think the show would fail, to be honest. So the actor that played Luffy,
I think the actor that played Luffy did a decent job.
Decent job.
There was moments where I just felt like I just wasn't getting that Luffy energy. And then even when he was trying to do the Luffy energy, like, I'm going to become king of the pirate. You know, it just sometimes it just didn't sound right.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ooh, like.
Well, because even in the dubbed, you know, he sounds nice. Like, and we were talking about in our subbed and dubbed episode. Like the voice of Zoro is the voice of Vegeta, and he does sound like iconic in English. So, but the guy who played Zoro in this live action,
he did a good job.
He did good.
I think my favorite character of all of the crew was literally Zoro. I think they did him like perfectly spot on. They got the right guy, the right hairstyle. It was like perfect, and even the attitude,
young and old.
Yeah, even the attitude was like awesome. I was like, yo, they got
just silent, silent, strong and silent.
But they did a good job.
There was key
moments that I was like thinking about, because you know how he carries 3 swords, right?
Right.
And he's always like moving, and I'm like, I wonder, like, does his swords not get caught into things?
There was a scene
where when they go to the restaurant, and he's trying to sit down on the bench, and he has to go on the opposite side so his swords can, without him having to take it all off. Yeah. And I was just thinking about that. But there was like a fight scene and the Marine, like the first 2 episodes, and I think it was in the Marine yard, and he was fighting them, that his sword kind of bent, because he had like landed on the ground and one of his swords like bent, but I don't think it was like meant.
Probably not. No, a prop.
It was like, yeah, like his swords were prop, and people were like pointing it out, because I also saw it on TikTok, and people were like, oh, look, his sword bent. This is not real. Yo, the nitpicking, which
I do have my nitpicks, and I don't want to, I don't want that to bring the show down. Yeah, because there's like a scene at the end where I like, let's do three cheers for Sanji or for Usopp, and then they never do it, or like the Sanji stuff with the all blue is kind of clunky with him and his younger years. The Arlong versus Luffy round 1, that was kind of lame, and it didn't improve the second time for me. No, like I didn't really like the fight.
I felt like I know that is like a lot of episodes, so they had to like cut and paste and like kind of like trim it down into those 8 hours.
Yeah, well, you still get a good look at the characters and how they develop, like,
especially the first couple of episodes, because you learn about Luffy, you learn a little bit about his backstory. For the people that don't know Luffy, you know what I mean. Same thing with Usopp, you learn about the crew. Same thing with Zoro. Zoro has his own backstory about like why he wants to be the greatest swordsman.
Yeah, everybody.
Same thing with Nami, like why she wants to become one of the greatest map makers, and same thing with Usopp, so they all had like their backstories told, which was perfectly great. And I was also having my girl watch it with me, because she's never watched One Piece, so this is her first time watching it, and it's literally through a live action.
What does she think?
She likes it. So there's this moment that was like throwing me off, and it was the Usopp episode. So when they finally go into that island to go find a boat, you know what I mean, because they have to upgrade, and they meet Captain Usopp.
Right.
And I noticed the way that they did that scene, or like that whole episode, was like very dark. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but they were like zooming into the faces, like really near. And like the theme music and the lighting was so dark. It was giving me like American Horror vibes, or
really?
Alice in the Wonderland vibes. And then when I said that, my girl was like, "You're right. It does look like an Alice in the Wonderland episode. Like, it looks like that movie." Like, she falls in a hole, and like how Johnny Depp has his big head. Like, the characters are all odd, and that's how it is in One Piece. Like, you have different type of characters. You have fishmen. You
right.
have not trying to like. Well, I mean, we're entering spoiler, but like for the people that. I don't want to spoil it for the people that just got onto One Piece because of the live adaptation.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
But for the people that read the manga and stuff, like, we know like there's way crazier characters out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it does give me like a Alice in the Wonderland kind of vibe, the way they were like filming it. But like the episode 1 and 2, it was fine. I feel like when they got to that Usopp episode, they kind of changed direction in the filming and the way lighting worked and stuff like that. They made it look more intense and darker for some reason. But I was wondering if they were doing that because the main villain on that episode was the cat guy.
Oh, the butler?
The butler.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if that's why they were doing it, like they're making like more a mystic or something like that, like Omen in the mansion.
Now that you say, yeah, everything in the mansion was like
Omen, like dark,
dimly lit.
yeah, and dim lit, yeah. So I was just wondering if it was just because of that one episode they were just trying to get that aesthetic of like that, like something's going on, but nobody can put their thumb on it yet. Even though we already know who was the villain. I was like, oh shit, look at it with the little thing every time.
I know. He does it without the claws. And like, that's a weird way to adjust your glasses.
I know, right?
And then later
I was doing that all day. Every time I adjusted my glasses, like
stupid.
But anyways.
So the show is shot really well too. So it has a lot of good shots, like from below up high, like when they span over like the
different
bird's eye
angles.
view. Yeah, no, it's really, really good.
You can see that they had money. They had a good budget for this one.
Yeah,
they weren't really trying to downplay
the attention to detail and the care and the love for the show, for the original, shines through in the making of this show.
Well, that's what we've always talked about. Like, because in the end of the day, majority of the people that are watching this are anime persons like us, so they know we're gonna critique this a little bit harder than just your average Joe. Yeah. So we do pay attention to the
balance
details.
both, and you have to balance the true fans and like how you said
the people that are coming to this.
Girl.
Yeah, but still, like in my mind, I'm like, you're better off targeting us,
right? Because
we're the true fans, and if we say it sucks, then a lot of people ain't gonna watch it, and automatically it's gonna be a flop.
Yeah,
you know what
Netflix is very casual. Like Netflix is for like casual watching. Like you just throw something on Netflix. It's just
I know
on the app that you have.
But still, like I agree with you. They were a lot of attention to details, and even in the costumes and stuff like that, it was spot on, and I liked it.
Yeah, and I like that they didn't just wear the same shit. Like
they had Luffy change outfits every once in a while.
Yeah,
he wasn't just wearing that. He was still in his vest.
Yeah, towards the end. So, most of it was good up until the end, and I do want to talk about like what I didn't like.
Go ahead.
But before I do that,
what's up?
So a controversial something that I might be throwing out there is Captain Buggy. The Buggy.
You didn't like the clown? You didn't like the clown?
I liked it a lot.
I liked it too.
I might have liked it more than in the anime.
Really? He played a good. He did it good.
He was good.
Yeah, he was good. I'm not gonna say that he did a good job.
No, man, he was funny. He was fun. The only thing that I didn't like was the chop, like the way the floating head looked. I just didn't like that, and I was more forgiving of it. Like I said, I'm
because
mostly
it's live
of the
action.
Whole thing. Yeah, just for the attempt, but
I thought the most funny part was when they finally figured out like how to defeat him by trapping his other body parts, and then when he comes back together, he's like this tiny little miniature.
That's how it is in the manga.
Yeah, so I thought that was like, oh wow, like for the real anime people, is like, oh, we know that scene. That's actually pretty funny.
But it looks better in the anime, I will say. Like that whole chop stuff.
Yeah, it looks it translates better in the anime than it does in live adaptation. It looks kind of gimmicky, like
it looks weird.
I like it.
Yeah.
But no,
but I liked him.
The way he presented that character.
I had to rewatch the old stuff to see if maybe to have a good comparison. So he is fun and funny in the anime and the manga. And just for the sake of this, I'm just gonna say anime.
Yeah.
But I mean anime and manga. He is fun and funny, but I don't know, like just whoever that actor is, and I should have looked up his name because I do like him a lot. He did a really good job. He was like fun and
funny and like sarcastic,
but
and
like,
he just
but
played
like
it.
menacing.
Yeah,
it was good.
He played a really good role on it. No, I like this. I like this part.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about, since we're talking about a little bit of like, you know,
the villains,
not the villains, but so much like what we didn't like.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I feel like the sad parts that we normally like didn't translate well.
For me, that was all towards the end. So the stuff,
which I think was, yeah, I there was some sad parts like Zoro losing to Mihawk.
Right.
I thought that was supposed to be like a sad part, but it didn't really hit. I feel like maybe it hit better in anime because they were more dramatic with it. Like, what was the other part? And I think it was like the last part with Nami when she was crying, you know, and
that part
Luffy comes up.
It fell
in
short
the
for me.
anime, it looked so much better. It felt like that's my boy Luffy. Now he's the captain.
Well,
he's like, you know what I mean? Like now he's bossed up. Like, oh, Arlong.
Because in the manga, you know, it's panels. So you get the panels and you can sit with it a little bit longer. And then with the anime, the timing and the tempo with it is nice. So then, but with the live action,
it felt a little rushed and it felt a little bit weird.
Very rushed.
Like just he kept repeating himself. I can't remember what he kept saying to Naomi. Like, I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save you, or something like
that. That's how he's in the anime though. So that's why.
But it just didn't translate right, and it didn't feel sad. Like even
when
my girl,
they're at the end and they have all their boots on the barrel, and they're all just saying the same shit that they've been saying. They even throw flashbacks
of it
to when they were young, saying the same shit.
Yeah,
like that's what it is, you know.
Yeah, but I just feel like it just didn't hit hard. Like I felt more emotion when I was actually watching the anime, especially on that Nami scene.
Yeah.
Versus the live adaptation, and I was thinking to myself, is it because I already know what was coming? I already know, so I'm already not there emotionally. Versus when you see it the first time for the first time ever, it hits different. But I had my girl watch it, you know, that part, and I'm like, did you feel anything? Like, did you think it was sad? And she was like, no, I think it was cute that he wants to save her. Like, you know, shows that he really wants her to be part of his crew. Like he cares about her. And I was like, oh, but it didn't make you sad, like want to cry, maybe shed a tear. Nah. I'm like, okay, when you watch the anime, it's different. It hits different.
Well, because she's so hard-bodied in the anime, and you know, she's like, get out of me, get out. You know, I don't want to be on your crew. I just played you guys, you know. And then all of a sudden she's just like, I need your help. And then he just fucking puts the hat on her. It's like the way he puts the hat on.
Confirmation.
Boom.
Yeah.
And he just beelines it straight to Arlong.
Exactly. So that was the only thing that was like really throwing me off. I was like, these sad scenes, I feel like it just didn't hit as emotionally as I would like it to. So maybe that's something Netflix can work on season 2. It just get like those emotional scenes a little bit better.
I wanted to end this, and we're not quite at the end yet, but with it was good, and I gave it a saying out of the 3, but it still falls short to the anime. So if you are watching this, if you have seen it for the first time, if you are watching this before you even watch the damn live action, I am saying to watch it.
No.
What I'm saying more is you should watch the anime. Because like you said, the emotional scenes, like the balance that it has, like it's going on strong for so long for a reason, because it is so great.
It has a little bit of everything. And like I've always said, a good anime has to have like really crucial emotional scenes that captures the audience. And Luffy has scenes where you're like, you feel bad for him. And that one scene with Nami, that was supposed to be a very critical scene in getting, you know, showing that Luffy is not only just jokes and funny and you know, easy to go by. You know, he
well, there's like a scene where Zoro's like passed out or whatever, and he doesn't know what to do, and then Sanji's like, oh well, you know,
talk to him.
Captain has to make hard calls and decisions.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of like that tees up what happens later on in the episode or in the show.
But again, I just feel like the emotion just didn't translate as much as it would in the animation itself.
Yeah.
But that was just me. But besides that, like I felt that they actually did a decent job, man.
Yeah.
I was very surprised that I actually liked it, and I actually wanted to watch every episode. Like I wasn't like, I want to stop here. Like
if you listen to our earlier episodes, I do mention that I was like reluctant, and I was gonna watch it just for the podcast, just so we can like talk about it. But besides that, I don't think I would have watched it. But let me just go ahead and get through my praise before I rounding it out. So all the Zoro fights were really, really good. The character of Zoro too, Kenyu, he was great, strong and silent. First mate to Luffy.
I think Zoro's fights were better than Luffy's fights.
Yeah, well, because of the sword. So
Yeah.
besides the end, so all this is with an asterisk of the last 2 episodes, episodes 7 and 8. So there was some stuff like where he's like running off the side. I thought it was, okay. And the thing about it being in an anime, like, there's like, I'll put it in the video, where he has like this, like these weights, and they're like 10,000 pounds or whatever. And it shows like just how strong he is. So, with the anime, it does go extra like that. So I do like how they kept it like that, where he was freakishly strong and he was like a really good fighter.
Who, Zoro?
Zoro.
Yeah.
So I did like all of that. So they kept that good.
Yeah, because I feel like Luffy doesn't get as strong, like physically strong as Zoro till like later.
Mm-hmm.
Like at first, he's kind of like weaker than Zoro in the sense of like physical strength.
Right. But he's a rubber man.
Yeah, but eventually, like you'll see, in the anime, like in the further future, he does like get as strong as Zoro physically wise.
Yeah.
Without even having to train the way Zoro trains, because Zoro trains like a fucking beast every day and
Well,
night.
he's a samurai, bro.
You know what I mean? He knows he needs to train his body of steel.
Yeah.
But Luffy, I don't know. He just gradually, just magically gets strong by eating lots of
all that meat.
Yeah. All that protein. Yeah.
So Anaki Godoy is the name of the actor who plays Luffy. So I know you said that he doesn't really capture it. Luffy's just a hard character to capture as well.
He is.
So he kind of did have to do his own thing, but I think the accent for me is what really took it over, because I know people who sound similar to that, and they do have the same kind of spirit, like just happy-go-lucky, like, can-do attitude. So I really like that. And like I said, it wouldn't work if he didn't work.
No, it didn't. He was like the pinnacle of, the whole One Piece is Luffy. Like he's the main character.
He's
so if it doesn't work out, then the whole show would have been done for. Like it wouldn't have been as good as it is now. But
Nami
there
was good.
Nami. Something about Nami just kept grabbing my attention. I don't know if it was her face. I felt like I seen her somewhere else.
Right. Okay. So she's played by this actress, Emily Rudd, no relation to Paul Rudd, but she reminded me of Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. So that's what it was.
Yeah.
I felt like something kept fucking taking me back. And I'm like, bro, I've seen this girl somewhere. What movie have I seen her?
It's not her.
I Googled her, and I was even trying to see like what other production she has been in. I'm like, I have not seen any of her work.
She was giving me big Jennifer Lawrence vibes, but to be honest, a little bit better, because in certain scenes, besides the last 2 episodes, she was like really, really good.
She was. She played Nami very well.
Right? Really, really well.
She played her very well.
They have Jacob Romeo Gibson as Usopp. He was great.
Do you think they could have made his nose longer?
No, because...
Would you think it wouldn't have played out well?
No, because... I don't know.
I feel like that's one key component of what makes Usopp...
in his episode, the title card had him with the big nose.
Yeah.
But that's not what he's known for.
No, I'm not saying that's what he's known for, but like that's one of his main characteristics. You know what I mean? Like Zoro has the 3 dangly earrings, you know what I mean? The green hair. In the future we're gonna meet different characters that join their crew when they have specific characteristics.
So then they took it out.
Do you think so?
I think so, just because, I don't know, like...
I'm not saying he looks bad. And there was a scene that made Usopp look like a fucking G, and it was that one when he got drunk at the fish restaurant.
He was like doing his thing,
and he was just doing his thing with his glasses and just doing a little dance. I was like, okay, I see you, Usopp.
So I was mixed.
Usopp.
I was mixed on Usopp. So even in the manga and the anime, I am kind of mixed on Usopp. Like I don't like his treatment or whatever, but then I grew, and he does get a lot better.
He does.
I just think that he's very useless as a crew member
for now. But actually,
or even in the anime, in the manga,
even in the anime manga, he's useless in the sense of like he is not the best when it comes to like actual hand-to-hand combat.
Right.
But at that, like in the first couple of seasons, his main use is literally upkeeping the boat.
Right.
He was the
captain almost, the hands on deck.
He's the hands on deck captain. And he's the one maintaining the boat. So like what was it called?
Going Merry.
Going Merry is like something breaks or they're being shot down by cannons. He's the one doing the repairs.
Right.
that's his job as of right now. Luffy doesn't really see him as like a sharpshooter. Eventually he gets there.
He says I need a sharpshooter on my team.
But he's not the best sharpshooter right now.
No, he does his little.
So he has his little thing. He has his little moments, but
it kind of reminds me of
eventually he gets way more useful.
He's from Sokka from Avatar: The Last Airbender. He kind of reminds me of that. So they did tone him down in the live action as far as like him being like a coward and him being like goofy and stuff like that. But then they still gave him a good balance of both, where he is fun and funny. And he's like, there's like an argument that they have in the manga all the time where who's the real captain? Like I'm Captain Usopp. And then Luffy's like, he knows I'm the captain, right?
Yeah.
So I really like that. And then
like
he did have like the suave, like you were talking about, ness to him that I did appreciate.
Yeah, no, but there was like this one key moment in where Luffy had like drawn out what the flag should look like.
Yeah.
And then Usopp had done his flag. He's like, look, it looks perfect.
Oh, and it has his stuff on it?
Yeah, it has his stuff on it. And Luffy was like, I like mine better.
Right. No, I liked all that.
Yeah.
So I talked about Buggy already. So Kobe was great.
Kobe was great. He was actually,
good.
I felt like he was the second main character to the show.
Yeah.
They kept showing him a lot.
So the reason that I did end up giving it Saiyan, and I'll just go ahead and get into it now, is because even though all the stuff, not all of it, but most of the stuff with Arlong kind of fell through at the end for me, the stuff with the Marines held up from the beginning all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So Luffy has a fight with the captain.
Vice captain?
The vice admiral, whatever, at the end after Arlong. And the fight with Arlong lasted like 10 minutes or whatever. But the stuff with him and his granddad or whatever, that really like saved the show for me as far as like being like a Saiyan show.
Yeah.
So I have a note here. And it's just something I wrote down because I was writing notes as I was watching this. The show is kind of violent. It's like, it's more violent than I thought it was going to be, like with them chopping people in half and like.
Yes, there was more gruesome to it, right?
Yeah.
Like more blood, more body parts. Even the beginning.
There's blood in the anime,
when
but I don't know.
Number 7 comes to recruit Zoro, and Zoro just like cuts him in half.
Yes, man.
And then all his guts, and he just basically splits right there. I'm like, damn.
And then he takes him to
graphic?
Then he takes him to the bar and then puts him on the counter, and I'm just like. And there is blood in the anime, but that's what I'm saying, like the whimsical, goofy, fun vibe
shines more through than the gore.
Right. So it still has it in there, but you just don't, not that you don't mind it, but you don't even notice it because everybody is, not everybody's made of rubber, but just the style. It makes it look like everybody's kind of like.
No, that's actually a good point that you brought up.
That it was like violent, right?
They're more violent.
So another note that I have is that the Marines logo looked like a pair of breasts to me. I just kept, every time I saw it on their back or on the flag or whatever, I'm like, those look like breasts. But what else?
The Marine logo looks like a pair of breasts.
That's my note. So, like you said, all the emotional scenes, they didn't really hit. I don't want to talk it to death, but the scene with Nami and Luffy, like the Gum Gatlin or whatever the hell. Yeah, even like the Great Axe.
The Gum Axe.
Yeah, like it didn't have, the last 2 episodes lost all of its weight. So like there's like even a scene where the fishman is chasing Usopp through the forest, like that, like the scene looked good, but then the way it ended, like the way it resolved, I thought it was kind of lame, kind of a letdown. But all the Marine stuff really saved it for me at the end.
I liked it too, man. But I think some of the reasons you were pointing out is the reason why I couldn't give it a Saiyan. Yeah. I felt like, I'm not saying that this was the worst live adaptation. I think they did a really good job.
Live action
I think this is the best one so far. But I feel like maybe they need to listen to the audience about like just the key things that they could improve on. And I think this will make it even better. So if they do continue with a season 2, which they did end up with like a little bit of a spoiler, showing
teaser?
Up a little teaser to a character that we already know is pretty cool. But if season 2 comes along the way, I just hope they listen and hopefully they take into accountability those little tiny things, a little extra little more details that can make this show even greater. I'm actually want to stand by this. I'm a huge One Piece fan, even though I keep saying like sometimes I don't watch it, but that's just because of the fillers. I really can't stand the fillers. But if they can continue doing it, go for it, because they did for their attempt on Luffy, a big anime name on top of that, and on top of the fact that it's such a big world and there's so many different colorful characters and different aspects to them, and they managed to capture that. Kudos to Netflix.
Kudos to Netflix.
Kudos to Netflix.
You get the Normn kudos right now.
Yeah, but you can do a little better, just a little better. And then maybe season 2, I could be like, that one's Super Saiyan.
So that's what I wanted to end it. You won't. It's not going to be better than the anime, man.
It's not. But I'm just saying, like, there's just little things that they can actually fix if they wanted to. I'm just saying, like, for them to like really capture it, there's just
get as close as they did. I think it's I thought this shit was going to fail.
I thought it was going
to be bad.
I know. I said it. I was like, it's going to be horrible.
Yeah, like you thought it was going to be bad.
I thought it was
and then nobody's going to watch it.
Nobody's going to watch it. He looks funny stretching on his arms. It ended up being
good, and everybody likes it.
No, it ended up being good, and I'm glad that it ended up being good. Netflix shut me up, but I'm just saying, like, I still can't give it 100%, like,
right.
A saying,
right,
knowing that there's still little things that they can improve on.
Yeah.
But if they can get that right, I know season 2 would be even fire.
Right.
You know what I mean? And especially them going to the Great Line, that's when it gets even better. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, this is all set up. This is all,
the setup for season.
Assembling the crew, and then they go off and they do their thing.
Yeah, but there's so much more.
Man, it showed me how bad this show could have been. Like at the end, like showing all like the weird stuff, I was just like, well,
they gotta keep it very limited to what they show and like just the CGI, because I'm saying like a lot. I've noticed that with Luffy, his whole stretching thing. I know, but his whole stretching thing, like I felt like if they overdid it, where every episode he was like, "Come pistol, come this, come that," and just fucking constantly stretching, I feel like it would have been like it just looks weird now. It looks weird. It doesn't look right. But the fact that they kept choosing like specific moments of him doing like the gum pistol.
Or what about when he did the gum balloon?
The gum balloon. Yeah. Like it looked weird.
It looked weird?
I know they try to make it realistic because I saw his belly button and then like like the whole thing, but it looked weird in my opinion. But I felt like if it was something they kept doing and presenting, it would have thrown me off. But the fact that they just do it once, like he did the Gum X once. He did
he only does the Gum X once in the anime. I think.
And then he, but like the Gum pistol and all that, he's like, this is like his main go-to. And then the gardening gun or whatever he does. Yeah. Like those are like his 2 main techniques. But the fact that they were very limited to like, let's not overdo it. Let's not keep constantly stretching Luffy. You know what I mean? Like literally, like let's just keep him to his form. Like keep him to the base. And every once in a while, he'll stretch here and there, but that's about it. So I think keeping the CGI to a limited is actually plays it, because sometimes a little bit can go further.
No, for sure, but not like when it's like this. Like I think they did it like you said, the right amount. Especially like towards the end, it does get a little bit weird and wonky. But the chop stuff, even from the beginning, I thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah, but there was a scene that I was waiting to see between the fight between Arlong and Luffy, and there was a scene in the anime where Arlong bites Luffy in the shoulder and then literally leaves his teeth inside Luffy, and then he generates new teeth.
Yeah, they do the generating of new teeth, but they do it differently.
But I was waiting for him to get bit.
The live action, they did take a little bit of liberties, and I think for the better, but for the most part, they were trying to stay true to it, which is one of the criteria I had in our live action anime adaptation episode.
But if you think about it, in the anime, I think that fight was like 3 episodes long.
Right. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just felt rushed. It just felt like so weird. Like I don't know.
But then again, can't.
It's the limitation.
It's a limitation
having it on a show, and you have to wrap it up in 50 minutes. Yeah. So
they have to pick and choose, and then kind of like just crunch it up and like, does this look good? Does this look like we're telling the story that is supposed to be told, but in a quicker, fast-paced
So at the end, Luffy's talking to Arlong, and he's like, "Oh, you suck, Arlong. You're just like the butler. You're just like the other guy." And I'm like, Luffy, he doesn't know those people. He didn't watch the first 5 episodes. Like what are you talking to him about that for? So that's where I felt like he was talking to us.
Man, I was surprised that you gave it saying, man.
Yeah,
I was really thinking that you were gonna give it like maybe max grade 8.
No, because I wanted to be fair.
You don't want to take it back?
I don't want to take it back. Nah. I don't want to take it back. Nah, I want to be fair. Like, so I try to stay objective with all the things that I watch. I'm like split between letting myself enjoy something and then like being like super critical of it. So I don't want to be overly critical of like nitpicking like certain things that aren't true to the anime or, you know, this and that. So I try to look at it as an anime fan, as a fan of One Piece, but also as a fan of like TV shows in general. So as a TV show, it held up all the way through up until the end. But same like with it as an anime adaptation, it held up all the way through up until the end. Like the last episode. The last 2 episodes just combined with each other is what let it down for me, but it still rounded out with being pretty good. And it reminded me of just like how bad it could have been. So it could have been bad. It could have been really, really bad.
It could have.
So, you know, I'm a fan as well, you know, and I try to like, I write comics and, you know, like we, you know, write the podcast episodes. So could I have done better? You know, no, like I think that they did a good, fair chance, and I'm glad that they gave them the keys to One Piece, to the going merry, to, you know, set sail with this.
With the next, Are you looking forward to season 2? You think they're gonna be a season 2?
I think there is going to be a season 2. Am I looking forward to it? No.
You're not?
Not really, because I just I want to watch and read, you know, as much.
The actual
manga. Like the real dude. So I am so like when we were talking about The Last of Us, like I am happy that it is good and it's doing well because it's going to get people invested and involved with the video game. Yeah. So in the same vein of this, I am glad that it is doing well because then it is going to bring in another wave of like anime fans.
True.
So, but am I going to like, if we do an episode on it, then I'll watch season 2. But besides that, I have no interest really in watching it.
Oh, I have an interest in watching season 2 when it comes out, if it does come out. I hope it does. I hope they continue it. Like I said, I am. The only reason I gave it grade 8 is because they could have done a couple of extra things to make it even better, but it was not a flop at all by any means necessary. It was good. They did good. They gave it their best shot and they nailed it. Like I said, just a couple of things that they could have done better, but that's here and there.
You're never gonna be as good as the anime, bro.
It's not. So for the people that are jumping into One Piece because of this live adaptation, definitely watch the anime. And it's on Netflix, so it's not like you have to go out of your way to watch it. It's literally on Netflix, and I think they have like up to 11 seasons on it. So like you literally can continue watching and literally see what's going to happen in season 2 without even waiting for the live adaptation of season 2 to come out.
Yeah. You know and then when you watch all of what's on Netflix, you can just read the manga.
Exactly. So, but besides that, I was very surprised that X said Super Saiyan. I really thought
not Super Saiyan. Just
Super Saiyan. Saying. I keep thinking Super Saiyan. Just saying. Not Super Saiyan.
Well, because I don't know. Without spoiling the other episode, we did a review for Into the Spider or Across the Spider-Verse, and I would have gave that a Super Saiyan if we had that.
Yeah.
But for this, just saying, it was good. You know, I will.
Grade 8. So it falls in between that line. You know, it is what it is.
We even said the same thing. Like, you know, for you, it fall like in between grade 8 and Saiyan. And for me, it also did, but just it edged out.
You found a way to get it close to that Saiyan.
Right.
I just couldn't get it there. I was like, nah, it's just, you know, I'm going to be honest with myself. And true One Piece fans.
With the One Piece fans. True with the One Piece fans.
True with the One Piece fans. But I did enjoy watching it. And I did enjoy some of the characters like Buggy.
Buggy was
pretty good. It was pretty good. Yeah. So there was like certain scenes that was pretty good. But besides that, catch us on the next one, on the next review. Anything else you want to say to the folks before we log out?
Tune in next time for scenes from the next episode of the Hyperbolic spinoff review.
We out.